Kia ora e tiwi, and welcome back to The Chew.
The Chew.
Where we chew the fat off random kaupapa. Anei ahau ko taika maua ko kori.
Kia ora.
Coming at you through the Zoom link here via Tiro or Cromwell. And Corey's based at home at the Arrowtown Marae in Ngā Manu Hou.
Ngā Manu Hou, Arrowtown.
So today, whānau will be chewing the fat off top 5 reggae artists, which is quite a common theme in a lot of Māori shared parties.
Yep.
So we'll put our list together and we'll just be talking through our lists, what we picked, maybe some albums and some songs that we like of theirs. So without further ado, Hika, I'll hand the rākau over to you to kick off number 5, I suppose. And maybe we can mismatch it, you and then me and then you again. How does that sound?
Yep. So we'll switch my 5, your 5. Go that way.
Ka pai.
So my number 5, starting at home right here in New Zealand with homegrown talent, I'd have to go with 660.
660, yep. The big boppers.
Yeah, it's kind of, we had a bit of a chat about this earlier, bro, and I think their earlier stuff for me was the stuff I liked better. Their later stuff is good, but it's kind of, it's getting a little bit more generic, but that first album they brought out was wicked. There's a song, In the Clear, that I never hear it. I never hear anyone playing that song, and it's by far my favourite 660 song. It is a wicked mixture of reggae and rock anthem. So, number 5 for me, 660.
Cool. And hey, just a quick little story on 660. They used to play up in the Skyline Gondola at the Jazz Night Festival they used to have at Winterfest.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so when they were just starting out, I think Catch a Fire might have been the main band that were playing that evening, and 660 were the warm-up. And I was working up there. I had to work on the bar for that evening, and they were just starting out, and they were awesome. And then the following weekend, they did a show in Revolver, the old Revolver, which is now the club. And tickets were only, I think, like $20. Me and my mates went up there. It wasn't packed at all. There was probably like 60 people. And my English mate, Powie or Paul Jeffries, kia ora, Paul.
Kia ora.
He got pulled on stage and, he was singing some of the tunes that they'd played. So, so a real special moment for him. And we never thought they'd be that big. And then over the years, they just exploded. So, we downloaded some of their underground music that hadn't even been put out. This is pre-Spotify, whānau. This was iTunes. You had to get it on. And, we're jamming their music. I think it might have been back in 2007, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
2006.
Wow, that's going back. Woo! Yeah, I mean, I first came across them, I don't know, probably 2011 maybe, 2012. And I just got dragged along to a concert in Hamilton. So, I didn't actually want to go, but, I was sort of trying to get somewhere with a chick at the time, so I said yes. And when I turned up and then I started listening to the music, I was like, man, this is mint. This is like really, really good. So, good band, man. 660. That's my number 5.
And that number 5, 660. And they're now taking a bit of a te reo part too, aren't they? They've got a handful of te reo songs that they've translated out there, so good on them.
Oh, Pepe Heart. Pepe Heart's a good one. Yeah.
Cool. So 660. So now my number 5, is it?
Yep, your number 5, bro.
Cool. So my number 5 is House of Shem, Aotearoa Grassroots.
House of Shem. Oh, well, a lot of the whānau from up the East Coast will be happy with that selection, bro.
They're definitely a shared anthem as well. They get a lot of love around Aotearoa. They'll probably fit that Arija mold too, where, they are like one of the shared anthems of Aotearoa that everyone knows for a number of years. So, love the old House of Shem whānau.
Awesome.
Cool. Back over to you, Hika.
Okay, my number 4. So my number 4 is a bit of a throwback. You know, I'm kind of old, so a lot of people may not know this particular artist, but Google him, listen to his shit. It's awesome. Eddie Grant. Eddie Grant from back in the day. Yeah. Electric Avenue, that album was wicked. So that's more the impression that his reggae left on me, because all his stuff was so jingly and easy to sing. Yeah, Eddie Grant's my number 4.
And any sort of favourite songs? Or you just said Electric Avenue.
Yeah, Electric Avenue. Give Me Hope, Joanna. The song that does a mihi to Johannesburg. That's what that one was about. Bit of a political statement. Yeah,
did I know that?
Yeah.
Give Me Hope, Joanna.
No, well, I mean, at the time I was singing it, I didn't know that, because I was young and it was like, give me hope, Joanna, yeah.
Who's Joanna? Yeah, she must be
that's what I thought.
Chick.
I thought, oh, that must be some chick he was trying to score, old Joanna. Yeah, I don't want to dance. I don't want to dance. There's just so many. Yes. There's so many real iconic songs from back in the 80s, I believe. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's number 4, Eddie Grant. So
Eddie
back
Grant.
over to me. My number 4, coming in hot from Aotearoa once again, is 1814.
Ooh, 1814. Well, the whānau up the East Coast is loving your list, bro.
Well, you know what us coasties are like, eh? We all have similar tastes, so yeah. But like the last 3, even 4 of the albums, they did a covers album where they covered, a lot of UB40 and a few other songs. Picture on the Wall was
did they cover Picture on the Wall?
Woo. Yeah, which keeps the reggae theme whānau.
Yeah.
And another one of my favorites, or 2 of them actually, is the Ja Rastafari.
Yep.
And Relax, actually. Relax has just got a nice little bobby beat to it, as most reggae tunes do. So, yeah. So that's me, 1814. I always used to get them mixed up because in Queenstown there was a bar called 1876.
Yeah, it's still there, bro. Oh, well, yeah, it should be.
Is it there? Yeah.
So last I remember it was next to the Pig and Whistle.
Yeah. So I always get those numbers mixed up. I know there's 18 there. So I always used to say, let's go to 1814. And they're like, it's 76. And I'm like, it's the same thing.
Crack up.
Yeah. So I said the right name, 1814, not 1876.
Not 1876. No, that's the pub.
Cool. So that's my number 4.
Number 4, right. So my number 3, awesome homegrown talent. Now I'm not that into the latest music, because I'm old, so I go back to the oldies and stuff. But this band's just too good, man. LAB.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Their music's just wicked, eh? Really good. Good, easy listening jams. Just the Controller, gotta love that song. So there's good band. So for my number 3, LAB.
Yeah, they actually make an appearance in my list too. So I'll talk a little bit more about them when we get to them, because I'm a massive fan.
Cool, bro.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool. So number 3, which will probably be one of your favorites too, or which will get probably a good mention later on, is Aotearoa homegrown again. You can see my ears don't get much out of Aotearoa that often. Is Catch a Fire.
Catch a Fire.
Yeah, like their early stuff, probably their first 3, maybe even 4 albums when they first come on the scene was real raw.
Yeah, real raw.
Another shared party anthem, eh?
Yeah, I had a hard time leaving these guys off the list. I thought it struggled between them and 660, to be honest, and I'm not sure because there's probably more songs that I like at Catch a Fire. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah,
and they've done a number of concerts. They've done a number of concerts in Queenstown actually. So I've popped along to a couple of them, and oh man, they're just so good. They're so awesome, and they did one recently in Cromwell last year in the Memorial Hall here.
Did they?
And Yeah, and there was probably maybe 60, 70 people max there.
Really?
Yeah. They were supposed to have it down on the main green there, but it rained, so they got moved to the hall, and I think a few people pulled the pin. And it was probably one of the best ones I've been to because there was no lines to the Whatapaku, no lines to the Inus, lots of room to have a kani. They were doing all their old tunes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no way. When was this?
Last year, might have been the start of last year, so it might have been about a year ago, actually, I think so. Yeah.
I had no idea, man. Oh, man, I've got to get out more. That would have been worth going to.
Oh, yeah. I've actually got a question for the listeners, all 22 of them out there. Well, probably 19 if we're both subscribed. But,
yeah, true. We don't really count. Yeah.
They had one of the old boys in there who used to play the saxophone in the keyboard, and he did a couple of. He was the main singer on a handful of their songs, and I think in the last 2 albums he was missing from them or missing from their shows that they were playing live. So yeah, I sort of wondered whether he just pulled the pin or whether he got the boot or whether he died. I wasn't actually sure, but he'd always been a key member of the Catch a Fire band from when they first started.
Nah, no idea, bro. No idea, eh?
Yeah. You can see a picture of him right here or here where Corey puts it up. So yeah. So if you know Whānau...
Ka pai, future me. You did such a great job.
So Whānau, if you know who that is, then let us know. Yeah, I've just been intrigued, that's all. But that's me, Catch a Fire, number 3.
Number 3. Cool. So my number 2, pretty easy choice here for me. Again, they're a well-known band, but back in my day, they were the bomb. They were, everybody blasted their music everywhere. That's UB40.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Unemployment benefit number 40.
Hey, just goes to show the talents of what unemployed people can do, right?
Yeah. Just love it. Ellie Campbell, wicked voice, quite a very distinctive voice. It was a bit of a shock to me to see a white boy singing reggae the way that he could. Because it was, back in the day, the only real reggae artists were Jamaican or, from around the Caribbean area. So it was interesting to see a British guy, white guy, fronting a reggae band like that. And all this stuff was so popular up the East Coast back in the day. They moved into pop. They did quite a few, collaborations with mainstream artists. They did Breakfast in Bed with old Chrissy Hind. They did quite a few really, really good collaborations. And and even, they really stepped out there with ones like the Elvis Presley song. I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Man, they made that song mint. Elvis's song was cool, but it wasn't as rocky or sort of, it was pretty dour, and UB40 really cranked it up. But so we used to back up home. UB40 was like, they were the band right back in their first album, when they had Food for Thought, King, I Think It's Gonna Rain Today. All these songs that people probably aren't that familiar with. They'd be more familiar with their Labour of Love stuff. But up home on the coast, we were playing all that other early stuff. It was wicked.
Yeah, I probably come onto the scene a little bit later with UB40, but they're definitely. We could probably talk a little bit longer about them because they're actually my number 2.
Oh, cool. And, okay, then.
And it's really sad because as of recent, the UB40 brothers have actually split up.
They have too.
Yeah, and it's quite a nasty split to try and determine who's actually UB40.
Yeah.
And, I'm not sure what Ali's brother's name is, but they went down like a country folky sort of style.
Yep.
And Ali Campbell and who's the guy? Who's the rat in the kitchen guy?
Yeah, Astro. The rat in the kitchen. Not Turbo. He's got a name.
Astro.
Astro. Yeah. That's him.
Yeah. Him and Ali, they went off and they just played all the originals. And I don't think they did anything new, but absolutely same up home. Every single person knows UB40, knows the majority of their songs. It's on, most of the time when the crates are being brought into the shed. So, can't fault them. Bring Me Your Cup is one of my wife's favourite songs of theirs.
Homaitokapu. I remember up home, everyone called that song Homaitokapu. Yeah, crack up.
Oh, typical Māori wānau, eh? Modifying it, eh?
Yeah. You heard that latest song on Homaitokapu? I'm like, huh? What? UB40? I'm pretty sure they're not singing a Māori song.
And they played a few concerts here in New Zealand before they did the split. I went to one in Rotorua at the stadium there, and it was just blew my mind with how good they were.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. And you talked about how Ali Campbell's got such a real unique voice for reggae. Yeah. It's probably similar with I forget what his name is, the main singer for LAB. Very similar too. You're not expecting that type of noise projection from that type of person. So
I was just amazed at how high Ali Campbell could get. He's got a really high voice, eh? It's just so, but very unique. Yeah.
Yep.
When they did that split, then for me at that point, I have to go with whatever side Ali Campbell goes to, because that's all what's uniquely in my head when people say UB40. So who was right or wrong, I don't really care, but I can't really get behind a group that doesn't have Ali Campbell's voice to it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yep. That voice for me epitomizes UB40, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the front man for any band, like when when David Lee Roth split from Van Halen, it's like it was hard to get behind Van Halen because all of their music was uniquely David Lee Roth's voice. So it's kind of like, you're not really the same without him. So, to me, it's that kind of thing, eh? Yeah.
In excess.
Sorry, bro. So you're number 2, which I think we've already just been discussing, right?
Yeah. UB40. So what was your number 2 anyway?
UB40.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're down to our number ones.
Now we're down to our number ones, and I don't even know where your number 1 is, bro. But it's probably the same as mine. So again, I've got to go with what I know and what I was brought up with, and what's real in here when it comes to reggae music in particular. And again, my childhood on the East Coast, everything was Bob Marley. So. My number 1, Bob Marley. Not even close. Yeah.
King of reggae.
The King. Just too many albums to name. Rustaman Vibration is probably my favourite. It's because it's the only one Mum had on LP. She had the record, the long play record of Rustaman Vibration. And so we just thrashed that. All the songs on there. Who the Cap Fit, and I don't know why, but I learned the song War, word for word, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, bro, but that song War, that I just liked it as a song, it was taken word for word off a speech by Haile Selassie. So that whole song is not a song written with his own lyrics. They are literally the words that came out of a speech from Haile Selassie. So
who is Haile Selassie?
Yeah, well, he was Jah, basically. He was the version of Jah for Rastafarians. Well, not Jah. What is it? He was like the supreme prophet, or the figurehead. The figurehead for them was Haile Selassie. Yeah. So, yeah, he was the guy that they looked up to, the whole Jah Rastafari faith, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So that song, was one of his speeches, It was, and I didn't know that till later, and I used to sing that song all the time because it's just got wicked lyrics to it, thinking, wow, this is a wicked lyric to sing. This is so heavy and deep, and I'm like, and then I find out it's actually a speech written, so I'm like, oh yeah, of course it was heavy and deep. It was a political speech, So anyway,
and that's always been a conduit for those people, is through their music. They can talk about the injustices, and political views. And I think that's probably why Bob Marley resonates with a lot of people, because of the lyrics, the words. A keynote with a lot of his people, and probably a lot of our people too.
And I'm sure his music connected with Māori, with some Māori at that political level, with probably most Māori at the musical level, because his stuff was so catchy, it was easy to sing. He had that, he would say I instead of me, he had that real weird way of that Jamaican way of speaking English. So, we all thought that was cool when we walk around saying I and stuff like that, But, and it's not until I got older that I started to embrace the political aspects of what he was singing about, because back as a kid, it was just cool to listen to.
Awesome.
Yeah, number one.
Without a doubt,
Bob Marley.
King of reggae, Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you too there, Hike, and I suppose the reason I didn't have Bob Marley in my list is obviously you had him down as number one. We had a bit of a corridor before. Now.
Yep.
But also, man, Bob Marley used to get thrashed everywhere I went to. My brother's probably one of the biggest on the West Coast Bob Marley fans there is. So he won't listen to anything else other than Bob Marley.
Oh, there was everyone up home, bro. Like, I got hoha with so much reggae. Like, nobody would play anything else but reggae when I was young, I'm like, man, I'm so lucky my mum had Paul McCartney and Wings and shit. Just something to change it up,
Yeah, my brother had the Legend CD, and it pretty much tape, and then CD, and it pretty much never left the stereo,
stopped. Yeah. I mean, I love Legend because it saved me having to pour through all the other individual albums to find those one-off songs. You finally had an album that you could just put on repeat, and play all the goodies. Yeah. Although,
anyway, whānau, coming in hot, number one for me, back to Aotearoa again, and I wouldn't say they're predominantly a reggae band, but they probably have a few reggae songs as well as a few pop songs, and for me, it's LAB.
LAB.
Yeah. Lawton and Brad Cora.
Oh, you kidding?
Yeah, which is the name of the group. I believe Lawton left the group maybe after they initially started, and then it was just left with Brad, but they still kept the name. So I believe Lawton Cora is off doing his own thing. But the L in LAB stands for that, I believe.
I did not know that, bro.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Because they're the Cora, all the Cora brothers.
Cora, yep.
So, they were in the Cora band, and then when they sort of moved away from being a part of Cora, then Lawton and Brad went and created LAB just to head into a bit of a different direction. And
wow. Awesome.
They are today.
Awesome kōrero, man. So, is Brad the one living here in Queenstown?
Not sure. Might be. I'm not sure where they live, but
no, one of the Cora brothers lives here. He's I forgot his name, man. Oh, okay. Sorry, whānau. That's terrible, man, because he's a local boy.
Didn't even know that. And then they found Joel, who's the main singer. I think he was doing something on TV that they may have seen, and they were sort of looking for a bit of a front man, and they liked the sound of his voice, and then they just hit him up. He just graduated doing a Bachelor of Music, I believe, somewhere. And they said, hey, you want to join our band? And he was in, and then pretty much the rest is history. So
wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But for LAB for me, their last 3 albums have been my real or most favorite albums. They don't have specific names. It's just LAB 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So
nice.
5, 4, and 3.
Nice and simple.
But I got into them a little bit late, just after Controller come around, and then then LAB 3 I think came out after that, and then I just started really getting into them. And the thing I like a lot about their music too, and probably similar to Bob Marley, is it's quite clean.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of young tamariki, and I like to blast my music. So, when you've got young ears or innocent ears around the house, you can put that album on, and, it's pretty clean. There's, not any swearing or anything like that in it. So, yeah.
Yep. Nice. Oh, well, you topped it off perfectly with the rocking Kiwi band at the moment. Yeah, nice.
And for a lot of whānau out there, they all hammer a bit like UB40, the main songs, your Red Wines, etc. For them, theirs was In the Year, but there's a song that I don't hear a lot, and I thought it was going to get some good radio time, and it's on their last album, which I think's 4, and it's called IJDK, which means I Just Don't Know. And it's just got this awesome, jammy, bouncy tune to it. And like I said, I thought it was going to take off in the charts. It never did. But it's probably one of my favorite songs of theirs.
Cool. I've got it down there, bro. I'm going to have a bit of a listen to it. And I noticed that with a lot of music, for me, the song In the Clear from 660 is that. Probably the main reason I put 660 in my list is because of that one song. If I'm being honest, some of the other music is great, but it didn't really grab me like that one did. And yet no one's heard of it. It's not even a mainstream hit. It's not even a mainstream played song. So I'm going to follow your lead and have a listen to this one, because it's probably going to be, how I felt about that other song. Mm.
And if you want a bit of a song that resonated with probably me and our people a lot on their newest album, it's called Proud Man.
Proud Man. Oh, I like it already. Because I'm a proud man.
They've got a bit of a funny start to it. If you know your judo well,
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. You know your judo well.
Judo well. So they've got that little piece at the start of it, but then the rest of the song's pretty good. So anyway, whānau, get out there, listen to those 2 songs.
Awesome list. This has been a good one, bro. I like this. Time warping back to the good old days of reggae.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But outside of that, Hika, pretty good list there, I thought. And would like to hear from everyone else's lists out there. So get in those comments, throw your own list in there, disagree with us.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's some that we've missed, whānau. We just kind of came up with this list 5 minutes before we started. And so there's probably a real obvious one that we're missing out there.
Peter Tosh,
yeah. I wasn't a big fan of Peter Tosh. He was a bit of a jerk anyway, so I found it hard to get behind him because of his clashes with Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Any other? Do you have any other honourable mentions, bro? Oh, Peter Tosh.
Just probably from the Kiwi aspect. Tomorrow People, they're another pretty awesome group. Yeah, that I like. Like you said, there's tons out there that we just haven't had the time to think about or get amongst it. So, would like to hear from the whānau out there to see if they agree, disagree, or they have something we haven't spoken about. Yeah. I'll leave Ardija for, maybe the Māori kaupapa, because they're definitely one of the local household names. Yeah,
because they crossed over quite a bit. Some of their stuff was really, really good, but their reggae was good as well. They're just such a good band. They deserve a mention. Yeah. For me, one that I struggled to keep off the list was Jimmy Cliff, because again, that Power and the Glory album was just absolutely smashed up the East Coast. Loved it. Played in all the parties, every garage you walked into, they were playing UB40, Bob Marley, or Jimmy Cliff. And when they weren't playing those three, they were playing that one-hit wonder that never gets old, Toots and the Maytals, Beautiful Woman. So, again, I was like, oh, Toots and the Maytals. And I'm like, I know, there's only one song, but it was such a powerful song, that was just like, whoa. I was considering putting them on, and Sugar Minot, they only had one hit wonder, and anyway, so lots of reggae out there, and I'm sure the whānau, especially the ones from up home, are like, they're probably having a go at me right now going, that's blasphemy, that list. What about
Yeah, that's not reggae. Yeah, LAB 660, that's not reggae.
Yeah. So
anyway, let us know, whānau. We're keen to hear that feedback.
Yeah.
But outside of that, Hika, that's probably all we've got time for. We're trying to keep it short and sharp this episode, even though we're probably going longer than we expected. But outside of that, you got any closing comments?
No, I'm good, bro. I enjoy talking about the musical stuff. So I think in the upcoming episodes, hopefully we're going to go through more lists of different genres, and that'll be interesting to go through. I really want to bring Kelly on at some point, because Kelly's. I thought I knew all the hits from the 70s and 80s, but Kelly, she knew every single one I talked about plus more. So she's a bit of a wealth of musical knowledge that I'd love to bring on and have a chat to her about her music as well.
Cool, Kelly. We'll get you on at some point when we sort of revisit another music episode. Other than that, whānau, hit us a subscribe and like down the bottom there. It's great having you tune in again, and we'll catch you next time. Mā te wā.
Mā te wā.